We've asked our MSE viewers about the hardest parts about studying GCSE biology.
Body stuff like the heart.
All like the weird stuff when you had to label cell division. I just did not get it.
The topic that comes up the most, which they don't really like, is
I think one of the hardest things to do in biology is definitely remembering the key terminology.
Learning the content was so easy, but once you got to exam questions, I mean, you think you've answered it correctly, then you look at the mark scheme and it's just like, don't allow this or don't allow that.
The mark scheme requires really specific subject terminology, and if you don't get that, then you won't get the mark.
Some of the content towards the end is a bit hard as well. Stuff like biotechnology, stuff about genes, alleles can be quite tricky to get your head around.
I really found like all the cells and all like the weird stuff when you had to label the weird pictures so difficult. I just did not get it. I couldn't understand why or how the cell would like keep splitting. Is that even the right thing? I don't think that's right. I'm gonna go with cell division still.
Things like homeostasis and like nerve systems, which I actually found really hard to get into my mind.
The long application questions, all the ones where you have to name all the like equipment, safety, risks and that kind of thing in required practical.
I just feel like because you're already so caught up with chemistry, you just kind of forget that there is practicals to know for biology. It's not like there's many, you've got like the enzyme tests and stuff like that, but that's what I forget to revise.
The plant side of it, the xylem, the phloem, the mesophyll stuff, all like parts of the plant and what they do, I don't really understand.
I do find the hormones a bit difficult just because there's so much of them, and like there's so many of them that's created from one place, they go to another.
Homeostasis and response was not only complicated, but it was a very new topic that I struggled to understand.
Learning all the content, there was 18 topics for me on AQA, and it was really hard to know all these topics.
I really dislike the body stuff like the heart. I know a lot of people really enjoy it, it's just really not my part. I prefer like ecosystems, I don't know.
I've got Miss McFarlane here, so what do your students struggle with the most?
I think one of the things that they struggle with the most, and the topic that comes up the most, which they don't really like, is transpiration and plants. So that's the movement of water through plants. And because there's a lot of content in transpiration, students don't necessarily know how to use it. And most of the questions that come up in the GCSE exam are based on graphs and experiments to do with transpiration. So I think that's sometimes what they struggle with, because they think that there's going to be a lot of knowledge-based questions of just fact recall, when there's quite a lot of application, analysis and maths around transpiration.
So obviously there's a paper 1 and a paper 2. Is one of them harder than the other?
Well, they're both quite challenging, but paper 2 can be deemed as being a bit harder than paper 1, and that's generally because paper 2 does contain content from paper 1, and students sometimes forget that this is going to happen. They forget that they need to keep what they've learned from paper 1 and apply it to what's going to happen in paper 2.
So you definitely can't throw the notes away?
No, don't throw them away. Always make the links. There will be stuff from paper 1 in paper 2, so keep it fresh in your memory.
Welcome to exam season 2020. We're here in London and our host this year is Lara Troke School. We're going to be giving you rolling coverage for the whole exam season. So whatever exams you've got, we've got you covered. If you can't get enough of MSE exam season, you can get the ultimate survival kit, everything you need. So we've got a serious study mug, a weekly planner, a pen, a revision buddy, a door hanger. It's all there on the exam season store.